what did we do? After we have received the shortlist, we then opened some space for petitions to be submitted to us about the shortlisting that had happened at the regional.
If anyone was not satisfied with the process.
If you are not satisfied with the process, you may apply for us to review the selection. So we did not make some huge announcement about that, because if you are not satisfied, you feel it, you try and pursue your right upwards. But if you just announce it, then it's like you are doing the race screening in Accra. Each one of the 40 or so candidates would think that, well, if there is this opportunity, I wasn't shortlisted, let me go for a second chance. And it will not be necessarily those who feel hurt. But in the party that we know, when people feel hurt, it has been our practice even in in internal party election. Wherever people feel hurt, they bring appeals. So we received those appeals and spent some time adjudicating on those appeals first. So when we receive an appeal from a region or set of appeals from a region, we invite the regional executives to come and sit with us. And then let us go through this together. In some extreme cases, we even call for the raw scores of the process that led to the selection of the three. Okay. But our approach was that if your region selects people for you, they are your representatives there. If they select people and you come to Accra and say that, well, we have gotten evidence that these other people were better qualified, so we are discarding what you have brought, it impacts on the image of your executives at the regional level. Sure. So what we said is that more inclusion is better than exclusion. So you have brought these three, but these petitions, we have evaluated them and found out that they are meritorious. So we are not going to take anybody from your three. We are adding this one or these two to it, so that instead of interviewing only three, our work becomes more difficult by interviewing 4 or 5. So it wasn't a case of names being smuggled. There was a reason why you added a third or a fourth or a fifth person. Yes. People who have appealed against their disqualification at the regional level. And when those names come, we don't do it as a committee exclusively. We invite the regions to justify why those names were dropped. And after they bring their justification, we evaluate it against the evidence that has been submitted by the appellants. And when the appeal is carried, then we add the name. What about what we have been hearing in 1 or 2 instances where we are told that these were not people who were even disqualified? They were not even people who even applied for the positions or were not part of the process. The next thing they heard was that so and so person from their area has been added to the list. And I don't know if a few of that got your attention. If I get through the process, you will understand. Sure. So, and then in a particular region and in some difficult constituencies, which we consider to be difficult as far as NDC chances of winning is concerned, when we are going to elections, at times it becomes difficult for anybody to even accept to contest on your ticket. So what we do in Ashanti region is that if you accept to contest on our ticket in a place like Bantama, Manshia, where the likelihood of you winning is like a donkey going through the eye of a needle, You are not going to waste your resources, your time, your energy for nothing. After the election, if we win, we will consider you for appointments. So in Ashanti, unless a PC decides that he's not interested, we invited them to join. And when the short list came, there were places where the PCs were part of the short list. There were places where the PCs were not there at all. So we invited some of them to come on board. Again, when we got the short list and then the appellants and so on who have been cleared, their names added, we contracted 2 agencies, a polling company, to go and do opinion polls in all the districts.
That's a lot of work.
Yes. In all the districts. So, and the sample size was very significant. Between 6,000 and 8,000 individuals interviewed in each of the districts. Okay. So out of their work, they were able to give us an idea as to who is more popular. And even they did a lot of segregation also down there. They are able to tell you among the MPP residents in that district, the persons, liking among the MPP, among the NDC, hardcore NDC, among other parties, and then those who are not prepared to disclose their party affiliation, and those who are clearly not partisan at all, they are ordinary citizens. So for each of the 3 candidates, we are able to know how they will fare. And there is an idea as to the likelihood of their being approved by the assembly. Okay. In some cases, it was through telephone. And so it took about 1 month or so, or 3 weeks or something. So they had a way of doing that work. And so, but knowing that there is a temptation to pursue self-interest at whatever level, since we are all human beings. So we, as part of the poll, we said that they should put in a questionnaire that will elicit, the right person, even if he's not among the short list. So there was a question as to, there was an answer which says none of this. If none of this, name who you think can be the DCE.
And they put some names there.
And they put some names there. And interestingly, in about 10 or 15 districts, none of these scored highest. Some as high as 60% of the respondents. And then when they say, if none of this, who do you want?
And they put a name there.
And they put a name there. And each of them, not knowing who is talking to who, they were not talking to each other, a name will emerge that enjoys about 60% of support in that constituency.
That is interesting.
So it tells you that clearly there's somebody who is most preferred by the citizens, but there is
somebody found a way to eliminate the person.
To eliminate that person. So when that thing happens, we invite the person to come and participate in the interviews.
I see.
And in about 10 cases, they emerge the best.
So clearly there were some underhand dealings.
Yes, so you know that this one, somebody wanted to pursue his personal interest but was exposed. Okay. So in some of the cases, that are the areas where people are complaining, but this man was not part of it because they know they have successfully silenced the person and sidelined him. But the system has brought him up. And he has come to top the interview. So we have to
add the person to the list.
His name, yes, add him, suggest his name to the president for consideration. You understand? So some of the complaints that are being made that some way, somehow, the committee itself went and selected people outside the list and so on and so on. This is the reason. It's a way of checkmating each other at whatever level. And our work too, we put in a system to checkmate ourselves as individuals too. So where maybe if it concerns your region and we know you are weak there, you may have some interest there. The other members of the committee will know how to deal with your case.
Okay.
Okay. So that is part of the work that we did that generated. And some of the names that we discovered and added are among those that have been announced. And some of them scored 100%.
So you went through all this just to get a final three.
Then apart from the opinion polls by the professional pollsters, we also engaged the NIB. And they also did
a background check.
Okay. And also ranked the same nominees according to the likelihood of their acceptability and all that. So they also provided their report. And so we did not so by the time we were taking decisions, we had 4 reports. One, as I told you, the party structure itself had gone through the process and generated names and added. And so we also requested that at the regional level, give remarks justifying each of the candidates you put there. So it's like the region also recommending people. So and so person. So and so this person is like this. This is the reason we are putting this person there. This is the reason we are. So that's a full report available to us, and we have the pollsters report that is also available to us, and then we had the BNI report that is also available to us. So our work. So all these 3, we committee members couldn't have influenced any of them.
Could there be a chance where all the 3 were reporting different things?